Stanley
everybody,
decided to go to the
Games
meeting
here,
room.
and we're back
Perhaps
with
he
more
had
Stanley
simply
Parable.
missed a memo.
Let's see, what all can I do? I like work. It's just I hate my boss. I can
No
feel
matter,
you,
Stanley
friend.
went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference.
It'll make a
Nor did it
difference.
advance the story in any way.
It'll make a difference. I know it will. It's advancing the story in my own little way. Why does this man just have a pencil sharpener on his desk? And by popular request, should probably go and do this. Bloop.
At first,
I was
Stanley
told I should
assumed
probably
he'd
do
broken
the
the
other
map
one.
until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along.
This is very
He then
insightful
praised the
and
game
witty.
for its insightful and witty commentary into the
Yes.
nature of video game structure
Whatever
and
he's
its
saying.
examination of structural
Whatever
narrative
he's
tropes.
saying.
So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
Yes, it's fun
Why
and
don't we
unique.
take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Last time we chose no. This
Well,
time
I
we're
don't know
choosing
how to
yes.
say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like, right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of
But I
these points and
can't,
so
because
many,
you're
many
telling
more,
me to quit.
all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on
You're
where you
telling
are
me to quit,
literally
I can't
unable
quit.
to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who
Stanley.
people considered so manly.
Manly.
But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What
Gangly.
Stanley liked most was buttons.
Buttons.
He pushed them like some kind of glutton.
Glutton.
He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function.
Function.
Which is why he is in this parable.
Parable.
Lives an existence quite terrible.
Terrible.
And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable.
Unbearable.
You too will become quite unbearable.
Unbearable. Unbearable. Unbearable. Unbearable. Unbearable. What's going on with the music? Hello? I don't think anyone's gonna come. Gonna drink this Dr. Pepper. I get a pencil sharpener. Some memos, a button, an MS-DOS. And apparently I hate Mondays. I like little lamps.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office,
Hey.
but it didn't make a single difference.
It'll
Nor
help.
did it advance the story in any way.
Ooh. Save power. And put in input. Games like it when you put in input. It helps. Every little helps. Oh, that's a very nice looking room. Play 416, 415. Oh, there's a hallway there.
When Stanley came
Go
to a
this
set
way.
of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the
Ooh,
employee lounge
there's a
first,
I
just
need
to
to turn
admire
it off. We need to save power. We need to save power, guys.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring.
Can I
It
have
had really been worth
water?
the detour after all,
Need
just to
water.
spend a few moments here in this
it's very hot
immaculate,
in this
beautifully
office.
constructed room. Stanley simply
Coffee
stood
nut.
here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Here's 452's room. 453's. 454's. Can I shut the door? 455's.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
That needs a key card. Let's see. Oh, there's boxes. Even more boxes. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift. $1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift. $5,000. Warning, do not jump from cargo lift while in motion will cause death.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your
You think
enemy,
it'll cause
really,
death,
I'm
guys?
not. I realize that investing your trust in someone
I'm
else
not
can
gonna
be
do it.
difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself.
I need to
I'm
make
not
every
asking for
decision.
me, I'm asking for her.
Who's her? Who's her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into
Who's
your
her?
life. She's been waiting.
This is a creepy door. Don't like it.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
I'll do it.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Is this
I'm
my
just pulling
home?
the bread out of the oven. All right.
Am I home 427?
Okay, there
Is
we
this
go.
426's?
All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a
Aw.
loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you?
Dude.
I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come
It's
inside.
not cool.
Let me show you what's really going on
Not,
here.
at least I'm 427.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
No. No, I'm not gonna die. That's why I need a gamepad. Apparently it knows I have an Xbox controller.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has
Oh.
a job that demands nothing of him.
Oh, I can
And
actually
every
play with an
button that he
Xbox
pushes
360
is a
controller. I didn't know
reminder
that.
of the inconsequential nature
Eh.
of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
Oh, that's
Now
cool.
he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming
Whoa.
back to work. One might even feel sorry
Wow.
for him, except that he's chosen this life. But
Okay.
in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild
I
expeditions
know what
into
this
the
is. I know what you're
unknown,
referencing.
fantastic
A
discoveries
Secret
of
Life
new
movie. The
lands.
Secret Life of
It was
Walter
wonderful.
Mitty or something.
And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Speed to watch
And so
TV.
he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he
Okay.
went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door.
Wow.
The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Left bumper.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in
I want
many
to see the yellow
directions.
line.
And down another was a game with a baby. And
Game
he
with a
called
baby.
it the Stanley Parable.
Stanley Parable.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it
Yay.
would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Wait, what? What's my desk doing here?
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer.
My wife
That
go.
as long as he remains here, he's
Why do
slowly
I hate
killing
Mondays?
himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Push the button. Why can't I?
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Yay, spin in circles. Left trigger.
I suppose I
question,
can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I
Circles.
simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must.
Circles.
Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I
Why
tried
did he
again,
sound like a
and Stanley pushed a button.
G-man when he said maybe
I
this time? Did I just die? Think I just died.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That was interesting.
When Stanley came to a set of two open... This
Going
was
to the
not the
right.
correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he
Can't do
wanted
the
to stop
phone
by the
thing again.
employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Because I had
Wow.
an idea.
Yes, this
I want
room.
to pick up the phone.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first
Screw
open
the
door
first
on his
open door
left.
on the left.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
My primary objective is to push buttons.
Look, Stanley, I think
And
perhaps
push
we've
buttons.
gotten off on the wrong foot here.
We need
I'm not your
buttons.
enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten
I don't
about.
know who it is.
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not
I
asking
can do
for
that.
me, I'm asking
Do
for
that.
her.
free as a
This
bird.
is it, Stanley.
A cyber bird.
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to... Oh, no, you can't... Did you just unplug the phone?
Yep.
Now, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check.
I unplugged the phone.
No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action.
Yay!
How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see...
Yay.
No, that's not
Buttons.
possible. I can't believe it.
Buttons.
Why had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Button.
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional
No, I
video.
don't want to observe a video.
Choice.
Gosh darn
It's
it.
the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he
Has
could
just given the
systematically
kid a
set fire
cigarette?
to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house.
My
Which
God.
choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
Hell no.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do
8
you make
choices a
more than
day?
8? Less?
I
And
make
finally,
more than 8.
if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside.
That's
At
good.
this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Thank
Welcome
you.
back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate
Oh,
as a
is
result
this
of
the
narrative
chat?
contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Okay.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you
Okay.
home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Whatever you say. I don't think that guy makes any sense. I think we need to go and find the teacher guy on that video and report this man.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
That's good.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Right. I like right.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
This way, this way, this way. This way again. This way again. Going back this way. Going back this way. Glitchy lights. Glitchy lights. What do you say, Mr. Narrator?
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that you... My story! You've destroyed my work! Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know.
Reports on the desk.
What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
What's going on? What's going on? Are they aliens? Combine here?
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground.
Yay.
What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child.
I'm a high schooler.
Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
I'm sorry.
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I feel kind of sorry for on there, right?
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
You know what, I'm gonna try this fucking time.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, let's go. Oh look, entropy hasn't hit this room yet.
There was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
Oh God, it's the
hoping he
broom
might find an
closet.
answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
Oh,
office.
he's removed any option to screw up.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover
isn't-
not an indication of any human life.
What?
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who
I'm the
orchestrated
most
this
expensive
until he
boss.
saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Night Shark 155?
Stanley spoke the code.
Night
Night
Shark
Shark
155.
115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
I can't do it. I can't do it. It won't listen to my voice.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
You changed it up here. It used to be a number pad.
Okay, fine. You're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring
Be
you this
right
far,
back.
only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do.
Pause. There we go. And
I
I'm
asked
back.
you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door
Well,
on
I
the
tried
right. You
going
could have
through the
done
door on
whatever
the
the
right.
hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door.
Is that Stanley? Stanley! You look kinda cool.
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide.
Oh,
Time to
traffic
make
physics.
sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice.
Same one.
That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide
Vegas.
what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
I feel like an asshole now. And we're back. And apparently I hate Mondays.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
That seemed like different.
When Stanley came to a set of two open,
I'm going
this was
right.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew
Going
it
right.
perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
You know what?
And so he detoured through the maintenance
do it
section,
for you, friend.
walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I like pushing buttons. It's the raw. Buttons are cool.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Apparently I can only go left.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
So apparently I can
No,
only go right.
no, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was
I'm
I
scared.
thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Oh, there's a truck. The story doesn't look to be this way, I mean...
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler.
Wait a
Quick,
minute.
Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
Okay.
And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay. From the top.
Bloop.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Go down that hallway.
When Stanley... Wait, what?
Oh,
No,
so many doors.
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story
No,
somewhere,
I
or...
just stood there.
Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then.
Bloop.
It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Story has to be this way. This is the right door. Is it this way? Is it this way? Which way is the story? Is this way the story? Don't like that way. It makes me feel guilty. Where am I?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Okay, let's go. I trust that narrator fellow. Seems like a nice guy.
All of his co-workers were
Very
gone.
quiet.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, I trust what you're saying, narrator. Now there are no doors.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
I don't like this blank white room. Yeah, let's go this way.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes.
Wait, we just came by
No,
here.
wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
What?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you
Most
remember,
definitely
Stanley?
took place in an office
Well,
building.
you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all.
Door's gone.
We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
Only one door.
Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Okay. Don't like that new room. Startling. I'm startled. Oh!
All right, I've got a
Oh.
solution. This time, to make sure we don't
The
get
adventure
lost, I've
line.
employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
Adventure
Just follow
line.
the line. How simple is that?
I like this line. It's comforting. I will never not displace my trust in you, line.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward,
Let's go.
Stanley, to
Let's
destiny.
go.
Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply
Yes.
by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
Oh,
You know what?
08,
I think what we need right now
07,
is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
06. Oh. I like this line.
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern.
Oh my
Stanley,
god, this is a
this
beautiful
fern
fern.
will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and
It's a
remember
fern.
it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
And it has leaves and stems. And it's a, I forget the specific
Wait,
fern.
what? We're back at the office? No, no, no. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you
Here
have
we
done this
go.
to us? And after we trusted
Oh,
you,
that man was
after everything
fired.
we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Oh, but I liked it. So do I still follow the line?
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't
but
we
I
make up
like
our
the
own story?
line.
Something exciting, daring, mysterious.
I like the
Ooh, this all
line.
sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we
So
simply
follow
start
the
wandering
line.
in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Where to follow the line? Aww.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything.
What,
What
are
do
we
you want
heading
our
into
story to
entropy?
be? Go wild. Use
I
your
feel
imagination.
like this is entropy.
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Well, let's play walk down a hallway and
no, not you
adventure line.
again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
But I like the line. I want the line.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is
Oh.
in our control.
Oh, a
How
choice.
important we mustn't squander the
A choice.
opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Don't like that room.
Oh, hold up, what's this?
Deviate from maintenance room, end up in
confusion
my room,
ending.
narrator
You're
restart.
telling me
Discover
that's what this
Tudor's
is?
room now has
It's all
many
one
additional
giant
rules. Aimless
ending?
wandering, narrator restart.
and we're supposed to restart the game
Office is now
eight
dead end, turn around, fine.
times? That's really how all this goes? It's all
Supposed to reverse
determined?
invented.
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us?
Yay.
Will something happen?
Yay.
So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know.
Yay.
I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we?
Yeah.
Eventually. Well, in the
Eventually.
meantime...
Aww. Aww. Back in this friggin' office. I don't like being here.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
Where's
missed
the
a memo.
adventure line? I miss it. This is the line for adventure. No. Stand in the front.
Oh, and I guess this is where Stanley felt he needed to be right now.
Stand in this
this
room.
little hallway. Here, with no distractions, to study
It'll
room
leave.
417.
Burn.
Not to actually enter it. No. That would be far too forward. Stanley wanted to know it from the outside.
Don't leave.
To see it not just with his eyes, but with his heart.
Don't wanna leave.
He would know room 417 as no man or woman had ever known an office before. That ladder over there.
Wanna leave now.
Oh, and that no, apparently not. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Startled. Startled. I want the adventure line back. I miss the
Yet
adventure
there was not
line.
a single person here either. Feeling a
Want an
wave of
adventure line.
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's
Yay,
office.
broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so
There's
he turned
duct
around
tape.
and got back on track.
There's duct tape in here and a broom. It's a broom in a broom closet. Gonna name him Broomy.
There was nothing here. No choice
Named
to make,
Broomy
no
now.
path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
This
no
is a
reason
path.
to still be here.
It has a door, right? This is my destination now. Fine. Asshole. Going downstairs.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Going down the creepy stairs.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Who are you, Mr. Narrator?
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
Don't point that out.
Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control.
I will prove it.
That this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back.
There we go. I'm about to wake up.
The fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself.
About to wake up.
I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job.
I want the buttons.
Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
It's gonna happen. Oh no.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh, that's sort of creepy.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, For just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Well then. Seems different.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was...
Anyways, I'm gonna avoid doing that ending. Besides, I think I've been playing for quite a while now. So guys, I will talk to you later. See you. Lerp lerp.